Dan, our fun uncles, we have some questions that we'd like to ask you.
And I'm sure you would like to know the answers also.
Right. Let's begin. We've never moderated before. Who was the first to be cast? Talk about casting the two of us first. That's what
Yeah.
Well, they're two separate, because you were not the first to be cast.
Okay, who was the first to be cast?
Probably Peter, right?
Peter.
Yeah.
It's either Peter or Sean, right around the same time.
We definitely, Peter said yes first.
Peter said.
Were they your first choices?
They were yes.
Ah.
They were the only two people that we knew. Peter and Sean.
Peter did good, Sean did.
Were the two people that we knew.
Those two were easy. I think casting the Stark girls was a really tough one because we knew, first of all,
Because we knew we didn't know good people like this.
because they start so young, obviously, and but we knew that they were gonna, if the show worked and kept going for a number of years, they were gonna go to extremely dark places. So it was kind of a tricky thing casting people and just hoping that they would blossom into the women that they've become. And I remember Dan and I were in Morocco scouting locations, and we could not find an Aria. Aria, we probably looked at 300 different young girls in England, could not find the right Aria. And then we were sitting in this hotel lobby. It was like the one place you could get wireless, and you're looking at the casting videos, and there's a little thumbnail picture of Maisie Williams, you know. And there's just something about that little tiny thumbnail face that, like, it seemed right. It seemed Aria-ish. And
She looked like she was 7. In fact, she was 12 years old, going on 7. She was.
So we clicked on the audition video, and we had to wait about 40 minutes for it to download, and we finally saw her first audition for it, and she was fucking awesome at it. So we met her in London. She read again, and she remained awesome. And then we had to find the Sansa, and we ended up, I think, with 3 different candidates, and you did chemistry reads with.
Yeah. This isn't our time to answer questions, but we'll tell you the story anyway. Sophie and I auditioned together. It was my second audition.
It was my last audition.
We auditioned together, and I auditioned with 2 other girls to play Sansa, and was honestly just scared of them both. And then Sophie came in the room and was like so fun and kept giving me high fives and like stroking my head. And I was like, this girl's great. And we got on really well, and it came across on camera, which is good.
Now, so you might notice that Maisie's forearm, there's a little tattoo. Can you explain what that is?
I have a matching one, but it's in peach, so you can't see it.
Trying to tell me something. This is the date that we got the call saying that you would like to cast us in Game of Thrones.
7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9. Which is the 7th.
The 8th and the 9th.
7th of August, not the
However you Americans do.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Anyway, speaking of this, which one of us do you like better?
Well, it kind of depends, I think.
What, day to day? Or like
What day is
season?
it? Is it an odd day or an even day?
No, just be honest, come on.
Here's the nitty-gritty.
Who's best? Maisie's good at fighting.
Yeah, Aria's dangerous.
No, not Aria and
Well, it's not about the-
Yeah,
it's
we're
about
talking
Maisie
about
and
Maisie and Sophie now.
Oh, right, definitely Maisie.
Maisie.
We're joking. We love you both. We do. We got very, very
We don't
lucky.
love you.
We got very lucky. You said we're the fun uncles. So
You're just uncles now.
I don't think fun uncle sounds good. That sounds like a euphemism for something.
barely euphemism. It always kind of amazes me, and we talked about this, how lucky we got. Not just that the 2 of them turned out to be such wonderful actresses, but that they and the other actors in the cast, that we got such a good group of people, because especially when the show became successful, it's so easy for people to get turned by that and become total assholes, and they haven't become that way. And Kit Harington and Alfie, like, everyone has remained pretty great. With, one exception, but other than that,
We won't discuss
no.
in a public forum.
No, let's not talk about Nikolai here.
Yeah.
But
He was always kind of the worst.
yeah, he was always.
I just feel it is. It's the kind of, it's not, I know, smallest violin, but it's not an easy situation. The situation you guys have stepped into, it can be a difficult situation to navigate when all of a sudden this blows up the way it did for you, and you both completely weathered it and navigated it in a very impressive way.
Thanks, guys.
No mean jokes, no nothing. It's just, it is very, and on the acting side of things, on the performance side of things, it's just to watch you guys become the actors you become has been very gratifying for us. And also we feel very fortunate because if you weren't the actors that you are, we would fired.
Well, if you weren't the writers and creators that you are, we would have been fucked.
I know, so, right. I mean, right.
We've seen you develop over the years too.
Except we're getting worse.
It's deteriorating.
Yeah.
It is, we're going to get decrepitude.
He could have easily become Biebers and he didn't, so that's good.
Then you'd be ready.
It's a Bieber-free zone.
Going back to casting, who was the most difficult person to cast and who was the easiest person to cast?
Did we already talk about role?
Yes.
You were the most
Yeah, we already discussed that.
Yeah.
Wow, with the worst one.
The easiest person to guess. The first video that I clicked on was Mark Addy's Robert Baratheon video. And you know, there's a whole page, and I clicked at random on this. I didn't even know who it was. I just clicked on the one in the middle of the page. And his first take of his first audition tape was perfect. And I thought, oh, this is going to be easy. This is great. Look, he completely nailed it. And that was the only time that ever happened. The only time the first person that we watched was the one. So.
Wow.
Mark was easiest.
All right, on to the next. Okay, this is actually really interesting for us because we don't remember anything from this. So can you recall any funny stories during the pilot shoot?
Well, we were just talking about this backstage. When we wrapped on the pilot, we didn't know if the show was going to get picked up or not. So, we worked on it for a long time, and there was a very good chance that it would not get picked up, actually, because, we made a lot of mistakes in the pilot. And I remember you two guys sobbing in the Winterfell courtyard set. And I remember saying, we're going to come back, it's going to happen. And meanwhile, I was lying. I had no idea. But there were these two crying girls, and they had to say something. So,
we were such Debbie Downers. That was the rap party. Everyone was partying.
Right.
And then when we did the rap party for season 1, and they weren't legal age yet to drink, and so we said, you can't actually come to the rap party, guys, but we're going to have a special at the McDonald's in Belfast. We're going to have like a special kiddie party. And I started crying a Happy Meal.
Any other fun stories from the pilot that don't include us? Because honestly, we don't remember much. Like you guys had a whole other life.
So your mother was recast between the pilot and season 1. Catelyn Stark was recast. So we had a weird thing where in the feast hall scene in Winterfell, Sansa is talking to, it's when you meet Cersei, and she's asking you, have you bled yet? Like, it's a really awkward moment.
Yeah.
And Sophie's half of it had been shot a year earlier for the pilot, and then we had to shoot the other side on Michelle Fairley, who played your mom in season 1. And meanwhile, you've gone from being about 12 to like 23 the last 12 months. So the weird thing about the pilot was everyone got so much older, even though it was only a year. Like Kit looked like a little boy when we shot the pilot.
Yeah.
And he became.
There was a scene from the original pilot that we were going to use because Kit was very good in it, and Peter was very good at it. But when we looked at the footage and we looked at Kit's, we just looked at photos and hanging out with Kit. A year later, he looked 6 years older.
Wow.
And he was clean shaven, so he looked like he was 12.
There's a scene in the pilot that might be the worst scene we've ever written. It's probably the most embarrassing scene anyway, where it's the guys, the Stark boys and Jon Snow and Theon, and they're all kind of like shaving each other. They're getting their haircut by Tommy Dunn, actually. And it's a really weird scene. They're all shirtless. And it's kind of like, wait, why is this scene? And the only reason that scene is in there is because there was no continuity between scenes in the pilot. The beards were all different between when we shot.
To explain why.
So there's
why
So they're all standing around, and if you look closely, you can tell that they're all flexing because they're shirtless. And they all want to like flex their abs.
I remember that day. On set, they were all just sitting there doing crunches all day, doing every take.
I remember that the day before Alfie had starved himself with water.
Yeah, so had Richard. They'd all been like obsessive over it. Paid off though, right guys? Paid off.
Yeah.
Talk about your writing process. We've just come to the end of shooting season 7. How would you then go into shooting season 8? Do you do a whole outline first, or do you
Outline first.
put episodes between each other and do that? What would you?
Writing process.
Writing process. So we have 2 other writers on the staff, Brian Cogman and Dave Hill. The 4 of us get together in a room. We kind of break down the upcoming season, and then we split up and write different sections of the outline. We have the last one we'll ever do for season 8, which is kind of sad. And yeah, so we have a 140-page outline for, it's only going to be 6 episodes for the final season, and then we divvy up the episodes. Dave Hill will write the season premiere, Brian Cogman episode 802, and then we'll write the other 4. And yeah, Dan and I just pick halves. We kind of fight over who gets to write which half, like who gets to kill Sansa.
This was the only time.
Right.
We both wanted to kill Sansa so bad. This was the only time. Usually we pick, it was always a very kind of, it took 2 minutes to divide the halves. This time was 18 back and forth emails about, well, I'll take this scene if you take that scene, because we realized it was the last time we were going to actually be doing this for the show.
Oh wow. And so what happens?
You want to know?
Sansa dies.
If you guys can't tell anybody, it's only like,
Should we just tell everybody now? Then we don't have to, it's a lot of work to shoot this. Like 300 shooting days, we could throw all that away and just tell people what happened.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Less money too.
Yeah. Can we split the money 4 ways?
I'm down.
I'm down.
It would be great though, before season 8, we got these photographs right before we started shooting season 7. One was of Sophie with her hair like all, she's supposed to be a redhead on the show.
Yeah.
And we get a picture of her and she looks kind of like Paris Hilton or something. Like her hair is all frizzed with white and we're told we can't dye it red because it will fall off. Literally, that's what kept it.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, that's kind of annoying. And then we get a picture of Maisie, like 2 days before we start shooting.
Turquoise.
Turquoise.
Yeah.
Turquoise.
But who's got brown hair now and who's still got blonde hair? She's dead.
Anyway, it'd be awesome if you guys.
Okay.
They're not going to tell anyone, so it's cool. It's cool. It all stays within the room.
Amongst friends.
Yeah. I know each person individually.
Yeah. Hibbard. Where are you, James? Ah, there he is.